Very good.
And pretty weak defensively. It takes like twice as much damage as Falcon does for each shot. But it has a 10-tier laser charging system. So we're going to play around with that a lot over the course of this run. And time will start when I confirm the America fight. But I did just want to say there's a bid war going on for saving or killing Rolla, who is the sister of the pilot of Tornado. And I'll get more into the significance of Rolla as this goes on. But I'm just going to say it's a little different from like save or kill for Super Metroid, for example. It's actually closer to save or murder. So 3, 2, 1, go. Now, STs in this game have a rather unique way that they take damage. So every ST that you see is going to be divided into several sections, and each section can take damage on its own and be destroyed on its own. So like for this guy, for instance, the forearms, the shoulders, the torso, the legs, they're all separate pieces. And you've just seen the shoulder blow off. He's actually being very cooperative right now, which I'm not used to. And his arm is gone. His torso is wrecked. The torso usually can't be outright destroyed. So instead what you'll see is like the cockpit being exposed. Now I was playing it very safe for that fight. But there are a couple in these. Like, every ST usually has like a really fast way to destroy it. But in this game, movement and attack patterns can be a little random for most of the STs. So I won't always have the opportunity to go for them. Siamang here, the weak point for this guy is the tail. But the hitbox for the tail is incredibly tiny. So what I'm going to try and do is bait out a certain attack to make it a little easier to hit. Is he going to do it? No, he's not. Okay, usually what happens is I'll hit him with a torso shot as he's moving back and forth, which will cause him to do another attack where he stands still and his tail is exposed again, and then I can just kill him in under 20 seconds. Generally, under 20 seconds is a good frame of reference for whether a fight has gone well or not. Also, if you see the bees collecting in the upper right corner, those are bombs. I can hold up to 5 at once, and I'm stockpiling them for some of the harder fights that happen later on. And when I start using those, I'll get into things like charge buffering. But for now, the key to this fight is to not attack for the first 7 or 8 seconds, and hopefully I get this quick kill pattern. Yep. So, usually if you hit the shields for that guy, he'll deflect your shot. But when he turns to the side like that, the shield joint gets exposed. So if I just charge up all the way to a tier 9 shot, and then land it on or near the shield, the damage radiates to the shield joint, destroys the limb, and does a ton of damage. I'm not sure if I mentioned that, but when you destroy a piece, it gives you a damage bonus. And if you destroy multiple pieces, that damage bonus multiplies and ends up doing way more damage. So whenever I possibly can, I'm going to try and destroy multiple pieces at once. Now for this guy, he has a pretty set pattern, so as long as I don't choke any of my shots, this should go fairly quickly. Oh, I missed! That's okay. Okay, now I'm not sure what his movement pattern is going to be, because I'm not used to seeing this part of the fight. That's okay, we saved it. So normally, if you were playing as Falcon, this would be where you'd be in danger of burning up in Earth's atmosphere and she would save you. But Tornado just says, nah fam, we're fine. I can just fly away on my own. And that is going to bring us to Moonbase Luna. And this is one of the last STs that is a reference to an ST from Battle Clash. This is basically the 2.0 version of how Viscount looked in Battle Clash. And he's been giving me tons of trouble in practice, but I have full bombs now, so I'm going to wait until he does his first attack, launch a bomb, and then that will buy time for me to charge to an even higher tier, because switching to the bomb pauses wherever your charge is. Let's see if he gives me the good pattern. He has not. Alright, now we're in business. Okay, so he didn't do the attack right away, but he did end up giving me a pattern where most of his body was exposed from the shield eventually. So ultimately it worked out. Now the guy we're about to face would be phase 1 of the final boss from Battle Clash, but here he's basically just like a gatekeeper to the second half of the game, where you start fighting unfamiliar opponents. This is also the last guy that you can possibly face in the time trial mode. So the only way to practice everything from here on out is just to completely play through the game. There's not much strategy to this guy other than starting off with a bomb charge buffer, and then hopefully he just cooperates with the rest of his patterns. I'm gonna play it safe and take out those missiles. Usually I would just say whatever and power through them. Okay, cockpit is open, so he'll take more damage, and we're good. This is another instance where if we were playing as Falcon, Rolla would come in and save us from basically a dimensional rift. But again, we're Tornado, so we're just fine. And now after this is my least favorite fight in the entire game. Arachnus is a very erratic ST that loves to move around the screen a lot, will fly off screen and waste time for just no reason. and has the most annoying quick kill in that if the asteroids don't randomly spawn in a certain pattern, you cannot do the quick kill at all. So it's incredibly rare. Now, he has an obvious weak point that you aren't supposed to go for because it sends him into a tailspin and he just fills the screen with bullets and you die. So instead, I'm going to avoid doing too much damage to it, I'm going to spam low-tier charge shots. And hopefully, keyword being hopefully, destroy a couple of the smaller pieces surrounding the obvious weak point, which doesn't actually do that much damage if you hit him. Okay, his health should be low enough. Good. The amount of lag that can be generated from this stage is insane, because you can end up hitting those asteroids that fly by. The way the quick kill works is if the asteroids spawn in a certain pattern, you can cause a sprite overload that when you hit him next, it like drains his health entirely in one shot. We've got the Disruptor Bomb now, which every ST will give you some kind of item if you fulfill certain requirements. But in an ideal run, you would not see any item pickups. So this guy's shield can absorb anything I throw at it. So what I'm going to do is bait out the shield with a single tier charge shot, and then destroy it with a bomb, and hopefully create enough damage that I can destroy him outright. With a well-placed shot between the torso and the tip of the tail. Yep, that did it. So this is going to lead into the ST of the mother of the ST we just... I need to make sure I phrase this right. The ST piloted by the mother of the pilot for the ST we just destroyed. This is a fight where it's very easy to lose time because you're trying to hit small moving targets, and a couple of them move rather erratically. So I'm just going to keep my charge shots low, and just fire like 3 of them at once, and hopefully hit my targets. There's 1. There's 2. Now those 2 are going to fly around as snakes in a moment. Oh, I got the good pattern. And now, wait a bit. And we're done. That was actually a pretty good Groken fight. That is going to lead into the penultimate fight. So this guy is reminiscent of the Thanatos fight from earlier, but he's like the 2.0 version of the final boss from the original Battle Clash game. So he has a move where he can create duplicates of himself. And I'm going to try and hold off on using the bomb until that happens, and just buffer a charge through the first half of the fight or so. He's been giving me some erratic patterns lately, so hopefully he decides to cooperate. Alright, that was pretty ideal. So he's going to go through this long metamorphosis. Basically becoming phase 2 of the fight. And as soon as this happens, Rolla, regardless of who you're playing as, flies in and gives you a health recovery and sometimes an item, depending on if you fulfill certain conditions. And there she is. Okay, so my plan for this, since I have the disruptor bomb, which when you fire it, like, forces open certain weak points on the boss, I'm going to use one bomb initially, and then fire a buffered charge, and then use the disruptor bomb to, like, clean up the rest of the battle. If you destroy the middle piece, the boss will just die instantly, but it's kind of tough to do, and I did not mean to fire that bomb. That's okay, I can make this work. Okay, this is much more manageable. But at the same time, my health is getting kind of low. That's another thing too. The movement on this guy can be really erratic, particularly when he loses pods. And I'm gonna have to cut off save or kill Rolla. When Rolla screams, that will be the cutoff. It's going to happen in this dialogue that's coming up. So, save or kill Rolla is getting cut off. Now, shoutouts, by the way, to Stacy Peterson, who has a credit specifically for Rolla's scream. So she's been captured by the real final boss, the Emperor Eltoria. And I'll need to know after this fight whether or not I will save or outright murder Rolla. But for this fight, they give you an item called the Lightning Bomb. Because once the fight starts, it goes completely dark. And the way this fight works is you have to destroy all of those pods surrounding him to get to the next phase. But I'm just going to throw bombs at the darkness and hope for the best. Okay, now I have to empty my laser charge for the next phase. Okay. I have to hit a certain tier of charge, otherwise the boss won't die, and he'll hit you with a one-hit kill and the fight starts over. So now I need to know, am I saving Rolla or am I killing Rolla?
You are saving Rolla.
Excellent. So, I said save or kill, and if we chose kill, I would have had to shoot Rolla in the head, killing her, which gives you the sad ending. Like, it actually changes the music. If you let the credits play out, there's supposed to be a thing where you and her fly off together, but instead it's just you flying off alone. There's an even more depressing ending with Falcon where you self-destruct and nobody escapes. So, for this guy, he will absorb any laser charge shots I shoot at his body. So instead, I'm going to machine gun most of the way. There is a spot on his body you can shoot him to do more damage, but it's kind of precise. And I would rather not take that risk. Because if I do miss it, I could end up just killing Rolla again. And that would defeat the purpose of this incentive. You can shoot those eyes without having to worry about, and the gem on the head, without having to worry about, crap, I timed that wrong. Without having to worry about him absorbing the charge, but that's pretty much it until you reach the final version of this guy. Okay, now that the skull is exposed, he will take damage from any charge shots I throw at him. So I'm going to do a couple of these. Time is coming up. And time. I'm not sure what time I got, but that felt like an okay run. Generally, if you can get something like under 18 minutes, that's pretty acceptable, considering that I wasn't going for most of the quick kills. So yeah, you don't get this dialogue at all if you decide to kill her. And now that I'm done mashing through dialogue, always turn off the super scope at the end of each run. So, shoutouts to Gunpei Yokoi for making the super scope. Shout to Buckeye Speed Bash, which has let me run both Battle Clash and Metal Combat. So, thanks for that. I'll have to dig into my library and find another Super Scope game to run for some time for this event. And yeah, I hope everybody enjoyed that. Actually, what's coming up next on the schedule?
Next is Pac-Man World.
Oh, I'm sticking around for that one.